Time Will Fly, and the subject of this video is creating simple fingerpicking tunes from scratch, how to do it. The example that I'm going to take is that good old warhorse Freight Train. And the first thing that we're going to start off with is determining the notes of the tune. The first thing you have to do is to establish where the lowest note of the tune is and where the highest note of the tune is. If the lowest note is very low down on the fretboard, it could be awkward to fingerpick and it could sound quite muddy. If the highest note of the tune is right up here and you haven't got the technique to play chords in that register of the guitar, then you've got to adjust the key that you play the tune in. In the case of Freight Train, the lowest note of the tune is the open G on the guitar, and the highest note of the tune is the G on the top string on the 3rd fret. That's in the key of C. So in the key of C, Freight Train fits quite comfortably on the first 3 frets, which means that you don't need to have a huge technique to be able to play the tune. The first thing I'm going to do is to show you where the notes of the tune fall on the guitar fretboard in the key of C. Now I'm going to show you the chords of the tune played quite slowly in the key of C. In this part of the video I'm going to show you how the chords and the melody notes of the tune fit together. There's no fancy finger picking, just showing you how the chords are played, bringing out the melody notes of the tune. In this part of the video I'm going to play the tune and the chords again, but with a very simple alternating bass, nothing fancy. I'm going to play the alternating bass again, but this time varying the bass notes of the chord. far I've played the bass notes, the alternating bass and the melody notes and the chords in a rather four-square, fairly stiff fashion, because that's the simplest way of doing it. What I want to do in this part of the video is to introduce the concept of syncopation, where the bass line is very steady, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but the melody is a little less stiff and a bit more free-flowing. Okay, it's not easy to do because you've got to let your fingers work fairly independently, but at least you'll get the idea of the way you start from the notes, from the chords, from the alternating bass to the syncopation. I'm going to give you a snapshot of part of the right hand technique now, starting with the simple alternating thumb and then going into the full Travis style finger picking of Freight Train, just to show you what the right hand is doing. Finally, this part of the video, I'm going to play a course of Freight Train, getting up to speed, showing how the whole lot fits together and giving it some drive and momentum. Well, I hope you found that useful. If you want to see some variations on Freight Train, played fairly fast and fluently, I've got a video on YouTube called Freight Train Variations. Take a look at that and see what you can do with a very simple tune once you get up to speed on fingerpicking. Enjoy.